Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I have been trying to get this video up for a minute, y'all, but TikTok keeps flagging it and it pisses me off because this video was trending. I want to say like maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And everyone who's been telling this story has been other people besides the actual creator. And I'm like, no, I want the actual story from the actual creator. So I done some digging and I found it. And it's like crazy because everybody else is going viral except the actual person who told the story. So y'all, this story is crazy. Like, this woman, she was at the hospital because her daughter was not feeling well. Not her husband brought his mistress up to the hospital. Not they had to get into an altercation with the mistress. Her older daughter, while she holding her baby. When I tell y'all this is a mess, oh baby, it is a mess. And you know I'm going to say my commentary on it. So I will be right back. Y'all go ahead and like the video because you know it's going to be good. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. Enjoy. I'll be back.
Story time. How my husband brought his mistress to the hospital. The craziest thing that's ever happened to me. So I had my daughter like in 2021, right? So she's like 6 months old at this time. So she gets pneumonia and we're in the hospital. We've been in the hospital for like 2 days or whatever. And you know, she's getting released now by this point, right? So she was like on ventilators. They take her off the ventilators. And so we're packing up her stuff. So I was with my oldest daughter who was like, I think she was like 21 at this time, 20. So she's packing up the stuff. I'm holding the baby, you know, and we're like about to walk out of the room. As soon as we turn around to go out the door, here comes my husband, like walking up to door with this woman. And she's got on like big old bug glasses and like these yoga pants and these tennis shoes. And I'm just like, I didn't even have time to think. Like, I didn't even realize, like, I'm like, didn't even realize what was going on at this point. They're walking up, and so they like, at this point, they're like in the doorway, like when we're turning around to go out of the door. So like before we could even say, like, before I could even comprehend what was going on, right? So the girl like comes to walk into the room. So my oldest daughter, she puts up her hand and she's like, excuse you, like, we don't even know who you are. Like, what are you doing? So she goes to like push the girl back from coming into the room. And all I see is the girl in her bug glasses, like her hand come up and like go towards like my oldest daughter to reach. So it's like a reaction. Like, I didn't even think, I didn't even see anything but somebody trying to hit my daughter. Like, I just seen a hand come up. So when I seen her hand come up towards my oldest, my natural instinct was just to boom. So I clocked the girl in her face, like boom, right? Mind you, I'm still holding my 6-month-old daughter at this point. So I'm holding her like in my arm, and then this arm I take and I clock the girl. Next thing I know, why does my husband sucker punch me and clock me in my face? And now we're all fighting. The nurses, you know, and everybody like that's in the area or whatever, they're just like looking like they couldn't even believe what was going on. Mind you, this is like an all-white hospital. So everybody's just looking like, what is this ghetto mess? What is happening? Like, this doesn't happen here. So they didn't know what to do. So we're all fighting. He's tossing me and my daughter around like rag dolls. Luckily, one of the nurses grabbed the baby, like somehow in this melee, which I felt really disgusted about. Like, after it all happened, like, I can't believe I'm holding my infant and literally was fighting. This was crazy. We were just fighting. He's tossing me and my oldest around like rag dolls, and I'm still clocking her. And then I have her by the hair and I'm punching her in the face, and I'm getting punched in the face, and I'm getting thrown on the floor. Finally, I'm yelling like, you know, call the police. And then this girl's yelling like, he's just trying to see his daughter. He's just trying to see his daughter. And I'm just like, who are you? Like, what, where did you come from? Like, what do you mean he's trying to, like, what? They had fled, and we're still like, what just happened? Like, couldn't even believe this is happening, right? So the police come up there, and long story short, they get their side of the story because I guess they had caught them like downstairs somewhere or whatever. And so they interview the nurses, they interview us. There was no cameras inside the room. So when they came like inside the room, There was no cameras. Their backs were facing all the nurses. So the nurses didn't see the initial altercation. They didn't see the altercation until we got out into the hallway where they all were. So it was our word against theirs, basically. I didn't press charges against the girl because I wasn't trying to go to jail for some broad that I didn't even know. And I'm like, what is going on? And he got arrested because there was already a restraining order against him. So he went to jail, he got arrested. But when I tell you that was the craziest thing ever for your own husband to bring his mistress, I don't know what she was or whatever at that point in time, to the hospital and fight you, like after you just had his child. I cannot make this up. Like, this is the epitome of be careful who you have fled. And we're still like, what just happened? Like, couldn't even believe this is happening, right? So the police come up there, and long story short, they get their side of the story because I guess they had caught them like downstairs somewhere or whatever. And so they interview the nurses, they interview us. There was no cameras inside the room. So when they came like inside the room, there was no cameras. Their backs were facing all the nurses. So the nurses didn't see the initial altercation. They didn't see the altercation until we got out into the hallway where they all were. So it was our word against theirs, basically. I didn't press charges against the girl because I wasn't trying to go to jail for some broad that I didn't even know. And I'm like, what is going on? And he got arrested because there was already a restraining order against him. So he went to jail, he got arrested. But when I tell you that was the craziest thing ever for your own husband to bring his mistress, I don't know what she was or whatever at that point in time, to the hospital and fight you, like after you just had his child. I cannot make this up. Like, this is the epitome of be careful who you have children by. So to answer this question, he is my soon-to-be ex-husband. We are still legally married, but we are going through a divorce. I filed for divorce right after this incident happened. So he is my soon-to-be ex-husband because we obviously have a child together, and he is making it very difficult to comply with the divorce proceedings, and it's a whole story about that. So I will be telling that story as well, why we are still legally married as of today. So just so you guys know, yes, he is my now, we are no longer together, but we are still legally married, only legally. That's the only reason why we are still married to each other. So don't be confused about that, because I definitely left him right after. I filed for divorce right after that hospital incident. Okay, so to answer everybody's questions, because I want to answer, like, there was a lot of questions regarding my video. So I'm just going to dive into answer all you guys' questions. So somebody asked, did I know the girl that he brought to the hospital? And the answer is no, I did not know the girl that he brought to the hospital. I had seen her on Instagram on his live before. She had commented on his live or something like that. But I didn't know that that was her at that time. Another question was, why did he bring her to the hospital? So apparently he was cheating, right? That's why he brought her, I'm assuming. I can only tell you what he said, and his response to why he brought her to the hospital was this. Well, I can only go by what he said, and y'all, this was his reasoning of why he brought this girl to the hospital. I cannot make this up. This is his words, as you can see. He was blocked after this, so as you can see, this is why he sent me a message on Facebook Messenger. Another question was, were we separated at this time? And the answer is no, we were not separated at this time. We were going through a rough patch in our marriage, a huge rough patch. Well, I will explain that whole situation in my next video. But we were living together. Mind you, I had just had his daughter, which we went through IVF to conceive. That's why there is a huge age gap between my two children. Another question was, is my oldest daughter his daughter? And no, she is not. My oldest daughter at that time was 20, and my daughter was 6 months. I apologize. She was 4 months old at this time. My oldest daughter is not his biological daughter. Another question was, did I know he was cheating? I did not know he was cheating at this moment. Did I suspect? Of course, because he had cheated in the past. And again, that will be in my next video. That's a whole nother story. But that's even more shocking and crazy and insane than this one. So yeah, I will be sharing that on my next story. And then also, I know everybody's wondering, why didn't you, do more and all this stuff, and I would have been in jail. You guys have to remember that when this happened, my daughter was born November 3rd, 2021. This happened May 15th, 2021. I had a C-section with my daughter. So I was literally just gave birth and was healing from a C-section. So I was in no shape to fight anyone, nor was I healed to fight anyone or do any type of extreme movements. But I was holding my own either way, even with my incisions popping out and all that stuff. So yeah, for those questions, those people who are wondering, because I don't play when it comes to my kids, but the reason why I am not in jail for murder or for any type of, assault with a deadly weapon or anything crazy was because I was just healing from a C-section. And mind you, I was holding my newborn at the time when they popped up. So it was a shocker. Like, I had no clue that he was coming, she was coming, because I hadn't talked to him in probably I want to say a couple weeks at that point. I hadn't seen him actually. I had talked to him through text and stuff, but I haven't really seen him. Because like I said, we were already going through a really rough time. And again, that will be on my next story, because you will see what led up to us not being on good terms during this time. We were still living together. We were still, with each other, but you will understand why in my next video, why we were going through what we were going through. And yeah. And like I said, keep watching and then it'll all make sense. I'm gonna lay it all out for y'all so y'all can understand. And you guys just stay tuned, pay attention, because child, when I tell you, I am the billboard and epitome for women to take notes on. Be careful out here. Who you have children by, who you get married to. It's a lot.
Okay, y'all, so this is the video I was telling y'all about towards the beginning of the video. Unfortunately, again, I can't play the audio, but I can just tell you what's going on here. So, she's just basically following him around the house. In her house, she's recording him. And I don't know if it was some beef between her and the mistress at this time, but she's just simply recording him, showing proof this is my husband. He's in our house. And she's like, you know what? You don't want your mistress to see, you at home with your wife and your baby. Is that what it is? So she's just recording, showing proof. And what's funny about this clip is as you see, she keep trying to turn on the light to show proof of him, and he keep turning off the light. So it could have been a situation where he really was trying to hide the fact that he in the house with them. He didn't turn off the light and everything every time she turned on the light. But he basically trying to act all surprised and shocked. What do you mean? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But again, she's just trying to record and show proof of the situation. Okay, so let's talk about this. What you're going to see in the background while I'm talking is just her TikTok stories of her showing how basically, she met the man, but she chose the wrong man, married the wrong man. They were having fertility issues, and, she was able to go through IVF to even get her daughter. So she's just basically explaining, she went through a whole journey even just to bring this man a daughter, all for him to be on BS, and, Then she also speaks about how he abandoned his daughter afterwards. Like, he don't want nothing to do with her. And baby, if you know I can relate. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, watching this story yesterday definitely hit home for me, y'all. So first thing first, ladies, when I speak about my divorce story, and ladies like her speaking about this story, we're speaking about this so you guys do not have to go through it. The best advice I can give women, again, is please, please, please vet your man properly. I don't regret any of my children. I don't regret the stuff that I've been through, because it really truly made me who I am, and I really am a better person, mother, woman because of it. However, I can look back on my life and see where I made a lot of mistakes, And y'all know I speak a lot about growing up without your father and realizing what that does to a lot of women. If we're not shown properly what to look for in a husband, then we're going to go out there and look for it ourselves. And unfortunately, me, and probably her too, I don't know the story with her father, but I've spoke about this before. We're more likely to attract toxic relationships. We're more likely to attract low vibrational men. We're more likely to go through things like domestic violence, just because, again, we don't know what to look for when it comes to a healthy, proper love. Okay. Which, again, is very unfortunate, but it just is what it is, And when it comes to this woman, the story is really, really sad, but again, it's very relatable. He really does, to me, give narcissist vibes. Like, I know that he was abusive. She obviously showed that, but he really does give narcissist vibes to me. Like, the simple fact that you real deal, y'all was going through stuff in y'all marriage already, so instead of you probably going to counseling, or y'all both going to marriage counseling, whatever, at least trying to get help, and I don't know if they did or they didn't, I'm just speaking on what I've seen, you go out and deal with another woman. That's what narcissists do. They don't go to themselves and be like, maybe the issue is me. Let me go get help. Let me do some spiritual work to fix myself. They go and find somebody else on a lower vibration than you to put up with their BS. They have to be fed. Their ego has to be fed. Their emotions have to be fed. It has to be fed. So they go and find somebody else to feed them. It is a constant cycle when it comes to narcissism of people feeding them. Okay. And since he's seen that he was losing his wife and his family, he's like, well, let me go find somebody else who's going to feed me then. You know what I mean? Instead of doing the work that he needs to do within himself. And again, unfortunately, that's relatable. When I was at the house, again, it's so weird how our stories are similar. My baby was about 2 months when we first started going through our separation phase, but we was still inside the house. We just wasn't physically separated. We was still inside the house. And, instead of him like really trying for his family and stuff like that, because I told him I'm done, all this kind of stuff. But instead of him even taking the time out, like, let me see what I can fix or I can do that, he goes out and parties, gets a hotel room, just all this stuff that he does. Out all night, like not coming back. Remind you, I'm having 3 of his small children at the house while he's out partying. Narcissists only think about themselves. They're very, very selfish like that. So not me still healing from carrying your baby, but you're out partying and having fun. And you know what he told me? He's like, well, you wasn't showing me any love. So, basically he went to go get love. Oh, really? And what do you think that I need while I'm here raising and catering to your 3 babies? Parenting, I should say, your 3 children. You know what I mean? But that's what narcissists do. That's what they do. They're sick and selfish. And it didn't surprise me that her husband was abusive as well. And it didn't surprise me that he took forever in the divorce process as well, making things more complicated. Same situation with me. See, this is what's amazing about it. Y'all could be going through a whole toxic mess in your marriage, and they know that they be the main problems of that. However, they also don't want you to go and live your best life with somebody else. So they will make stuff purposely hard on you. It's not a big surprise at all that he is not in his daughter's life. Same situation for my kids. It's because instead of him doing the right thing of co-parenting, getting the daughter, spending time with her, all of that, he doesn't want to make it easier on her life to go move on and find somebody else. He's like, you know what? Well, she has a baby, so, you know, ain't nobody gonna want her now with 2 kids and she has a baby. And I'm not saying that's true for my words. I'm saying a lot of men think like this, especially narcissists. Like, I'm gonna just leave her with these kids so nobody will want her. It's gonna be harder for her to find somebody, blah, 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 while they go out and live their best life, not caring for their children, not helping with their children, not seeing their children, are co-parenting in any kind of way. Even with them divorce decrees, that don't mean nothing to them. The only thing that means is that they may have to pay child support, but they don't have to follow the visitation rights, at least in my state. So that's what narcissists do. They're selfish. They want to move on. They want to do the most, but they don't want you to. So they will do things like that to try to stop you or prevent you from moving on when they the problem. It's beyond me. It is beyond me, you know? So again, ladies, like, vet properly. Again, the best advice I can really give y'all is if you were looking to get married and stuff, pay attention to the age you are, because you're going to change so much, y'all. So much. And this isn't for every single situation, but you're going to change so much. If I could recommend an age, it would be like 29, 30 and up when it comes to getting married, because you're already in your grown woman phase, most of you, if you've grown properly how you should and developed properly how you should. You're in your grown woman era. You know exactly what you want, and you know exactly what men's gonna give you that and what men ain't. That's the age, to me, that's best to get married, not your early 20s like me. Please do not make that same mistake, because now women like me and women like her are single mothers because we chose to marry wrong. Not that we know that when we're marrying them, of course. I'm pretty sure we could avoid that heavily if we did, but it's just that we weren't taught properly. And then we learn and grow later on like we are now. Like, dang, I wish I never would have did that. You know what I mean? So vet properly, y'all. No man should put his hands on you. No man should be calling you out your name. No man should be yelling at you, like speaking to you like a crazy person on the street. Like, no man should be doing that. And remember, you have to teach your daughters how they should be treated. So if they see that, they are more likely to allow that to happen when they get older. I do hope, though, that you guys enjoyed this content. I wrote to her myself because her similar story from mine. And I told her I was making a video, and I told her that, of course, her name is going to be in the video, so you guys can definitely support her. And if you haven't noticed it, it's I'm her JD. That's her TikTok hashtag. You can always look on the left or right corners and see the TikTokers' names to follow them. So I definitely pray for healing for her. She has way more stories on her TikTok. So definitely show some love to her, support her. And I just pray for nothing but success and healing for her. So I hope you guys enjoyed and learned from this. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely share your stories if you have anything similar so we can just learn from one another. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.